Greetings YouTube, the Pack Bull here. We're going to discuss some stuff. This is not magic related. Don't let the magic at sexy absent sleeves fool you. This video is about what I feel you need to have in your extra deck for the format. This is mainly covering rank 3 and 4 exceeds. We'll get into synchros later. I gotta find my synchros. Sad. But we're going to get started with rank 3 and 4 exceeds. Later on we'll move into the synchros and then the other exceeds that aren't rank 3 and 4, like 2, 5, 6, 7, so on. And I decided to do rank 3 and 4 exceeds first because bulk of decks can get to rank 3 and 4. These are just, good staple exceeds I feel that you should have, and if you don't have them, you need to try to get them, and I'll explain why each one of these are necessary. Number 1, wind-ups in mains. He's a rank 3 exceed. Those you don't know, he's a 15/21. If he's attacked or would be destroyed, detach an exceed material during the end phase, destroy a target card on the field. He's good for stalling, but don't make the mistake and leave him on the field by himself, because he has to destroy something if you detach. So he has to destroy himself. He's a good rank 3, easily accessible by Tour God like most rank 3s are. Zen Mains is accessible in 10s. Photon Shockwave is a secret. You've got ways to get to him. He's not overly expensive as he was a few months ago when he was over $100. So try to get him. So Zen Mains. The next 3 I'm going to group together. They are the rank 3 numbers. Number 17, Leviathan Dragon, Giga Brilliant, and Acid Golem of Destruction. These 3 are really good in the fact that if you can push rank 3s easily, multiple rank 3s a turn, these 3 can allow for quick, simple OTK. You go into something like Leviathan, boost it with go into Leviathan, then Acid Golem, and then you go into Giga Brilliant. It allows quick, easy rank 3 OTK. They're good staples because generally they buff your monsters, can help you run stuff over. They run stuff over themselves in the case of Leviathan and Acid, and all around they're great for that. The next is Tempo. He is a pretty good exceed in the fact that he eats exceed materials off other monsters. So you can go into him against a rabbit player, eat exceed material off the Logia if they don't negate him. 90%, or you'll just force the negate because of 10 tempo. They have to force the negate, or you eat exceed material. Logias, things that require all their exceeds become completely unplayable. So that's some good investments. For those of you who haven't seen the video, I believe he's getting banned, but until he gets banned, everybody needs a copy of Leviair, the Sea Dragon. Banishing stuff is so big this format that he will help you fetch that banished rank level 3 or 4 monster. He's got a pretty good attack, 1800, easily run over, but like I said, if you can get Giga Brilliant, he's a 2100, and he's a lot more difficult to run over. So get a Leviair. The next is a couple of cards I'm on the fence about as far as this format, and it's really been a debate among a lot of players. And it comes down to these 2 cards. Pearl and Utopia. Pearl is a generic 2600 beater. Utopia is a 2500 beater that can save himself several times. So, do you want to run stuff over? Do you want to prevent attacks and whatnot? So the choice is yours. If you're going to run Utopia, I definitely have Chaos 39 in there also, so that Utopia doesn't die when he's targeted and you keep your 2500 beater on the field. The next, Photon Papal Operative. The card made famous by wind-up, several decks that do lots of flipping, Geargia, things like that, but it's still really good in most extra decks that can get to rank 4. He's a 2100 hitter. If your opponent's setting a lot because you have field presence, he'll flip that card face up. You can run him over. It loses attack, so it really helps himself on these smaller monsters. Book of Moon, use his effect, flip him face up. It's weaker than him generally, you can run him over. I believe any deck that can spam rank 4s needs Shockmaster. He's too good, he saves yourself. You can just go Shockmaster, declare trap, swing through an OTK status in an OTK like a wind-up player does. Call spells, prevent the Dark Hole Heavy Storm, Monster Reborn plays. Monster effects prevent the dropping of Battle Fader, Gores, and all that stuff during the battle phase. He's so good. He shuts down so much this format. You really need him. I believe that. The next one now I'm going to discuss is Maestro, the Symphony Degen. He is Zen Mains for 4 stars. Your deck cannot get to 4 stars? Well, get Maestro. He's the same thing, minus the blowing stuff up on the field. Yep. And he's a Book of Moon. You change their attack position, monster, and defense position. There's so much to like about him and Zen Mains. It's eerie how similar they are. The stats are pretty similar. Start with Maestro's 1823 and the Zen Mains 1521. They're really similar in stats. One hits a little harder, one's a little bigger on the butt. But other than that, they're really similar. The next two are new xyzs that came out in Abyss Rising. Most people's heard of them, and I believe that we're going to begin with Gaga Cowboy. He is base 1524, but he has 2 effects. His attack, your opponent's monster loses 1,000, loses 500, you gain 1,000. You can run most things over using his effect, or at least run into it and suicide them. So he's good for getting rid of big problem monsters. Invest in it now. I know me and Credo have said multiple times till we're blue in the face about this next one. Too many cards activate in the grave. Get Abyss Dweller before it's too late. Before Mermails eat you for breakfast. Before Wind-Ups eat you alive. Get a get Abyss Dweller. Use his ability. He's not the biggest, but if you can get a water monster over, he's a 2200. If not, you're still getting, 1700. That's going to shut them down, that you can easily protect with several things in your extra deck can protect him. So try to get him now, not tomorrow. You need to be on TCG Player, eBay today getting that card. The last 3 are really techy. I believe that most extra decks can effectively use these next 3, and they should attempt to use these next 3 for various reasons, various decks, such things like that. Kachikochi Dragon. A boost from a Giga Brilliant makes him a lot more dangerous of a card. And then you detach and run it over again. More damage. He allows OTKs in rank 4 spam. Not much to say there. These last 2 cards have been 2 of my favorite xyzs since they've come out. I believe everybody should have them. We're going to begin with Steelswarm Roach. This card really got popular during Generation Force, that first era when the first xyzs came out. I believe that this card single-handedly has the ability to turn the tide in big games where they're special summoning high-level monsters, Girgia, Prophecy, Chaos. He single-handedly can turn the tide. You're going to drop Judgment Dragon, I'm going to detach, your JD's dead, things like that. So I would try to get him. If you don't get him now, get him when he comes out in the 10. The last one, it could become a lot bigger. It's one of those hidden arsenal cards that's got overshadowed by several of the other ones. So, Marrowgeist. A lot of people don't know what he does. He is 2 level 4s, like most of the level 4s are. After damage calculation, if it destroys a monster by battle, attach an exceed material, suffer destroyed, you shuffle that monster into the deck instead of sending it to the graveyard. It kills cards like Sangan. So it doesn't really hurt snowman eaters so much. It kills Sangans, it kills Raikos, it kills anything that has to flip or activate in the grave. So good for that. Mermail players can abuse him. He's a water type if you're a Mermail player. He should be there. He's amazing. He's a 21-16. He's not the biggest, but he definitely could have the impact in preventing your opponent from getting huge field presence and everything. So, I mean, the list goes on and on as far as exceeds. And it's going to be like the Synchro era. You're going to have certain exceeds that you're going to keep. You're going to have some you're not going to keep. I mean, I think back to the era of the Synchros, where you had every extra deck had to have Black Rose, Stardust, Brionic, and Trish in that height of that format. Now every extra deck has to have, I don't know, 10 Tempo, Leviathan, Zen Mains, Palpable Operative, Maestroke, and Utopia. So you're going to have those spots. It's the floater spots that certain exceeds come in, like Marageist, Steel Sworn Roach, Kachi Kochi. Things like that really come in. So it's just a food for thought as far as the meta if you're trying to build an exceed deck and you need to think of what's in your exceed thing. You can only have 15. I think this is like 30. It's 17, so it could be a standard extra deck. If you choose to not run 2 of these, you could very easily have an extra deck right there. So the pack bowl is coming out. I'll be up with you later on today, maybe tomorrow. I'll discuss some other good exceeds for the format. They're not necessarily extra deck stapled like those. I mean, we'll get into the bigger ones. We'll get into staple synchros for this format, things like that. But rate, comment, subscribe, pack bowl out.